Hello, hi, and welcome to Savvy with Samke, a 4-part series powered by ProfMed, a medical aid for professionals. I'm Samke Mhlongo, your host, and if you don't know me, I am an award-winning wealth coach, best-selling author, international speaker, but today, just a girl looking at what I wish I knew about life when I was a graduate entering the world of work. I am not flying solo. I have with me my good friend Charmaine, Chaz, Dube.
Thank you so much, Sam. Chaz here. I'm a digital entrepreneur, a broadcaster, as well as a conversation starter. And you know, Sam, as someone who used to work for a very large medical aid provider, I'm really excited for today's episode.
Why specifically medical aid provider? I mean, I've worked for a bank and I know there's so many financial nuggets I wish I knew as a graduate. I've been an entrepreneur now for 8 years and I know there are so many things I wish I knew, even about just branding and sales, which is what I do every day as an entrepreneur that would have helped me as a graduate. So why are you saying that having worked for a medical aid provider will help with today's conversation?
Providing insights, and you know, I started there as a graduate myself, so I really didn't know much, and I signed away my life with stacks of paper, not knowing what is a medical aid plan, what is a medical aid insurance. I was really kind of caught up in the dark.
Yeah, and there is a difference between medical aid and medical insurance specifically, and you know, the importance of knowing what your options are. The importance of knowing what cover you want, the importance of being savvy with your finances, you know, knowing how to save, knowing what to look for in your salary package, what benefits there are, deductions, and what your employer actually subsidizes you for.
So in today's episode, we'll take a deep dive look into what you as a graduate can do to save yourself from the heartache that Sam and I come from with today's guest.
Yeah, she is a very responsible, she is a very knowledgeable graduate who has her ducks in a row and does not get caught still checking herself out on camera when it's time to roll. Stay tuned because after this, we're speaking with Gontse. You're still watching Savvy with Samke, where we are talking all things medical aid 101 for graduates. And as promised, we have with us a recent graduate to talk to us about her journey and starting out her career, and also all the things she wishes she could have known before starting her day and life as a corporate girly. Gontse Segone, welcome to Savvy with Samke.
Hi, Samke. Nice to meet you. Thank you guys for having me.
How are you doing today?
Welcome.
Oh, I'm good. I honestly can't complain. I'm good. How are you?
We are good.
Gontse, you know, tell us a little bit about your journey, your graduation journey, what career you chose, leading up to this point where we are today.
Yes. So I initially started with a degree in Cape Town, in the Western Cape. That's what I was trying to say. So, and then COVID hit, obviously had to come back home, and then I decided I wanted a different degree. So it was between finishing that degree or starting over from scratch. At the time I was there for 2 years, you can imagine. But I ended up starting over, did online, and then I got my first job as a bookseller where I got introduced to medical aid through companies.
Right.
But unfortunately, they weren't offering medical aid, they were offering medical insurance. So for me at the time, it wasn't very convenient. So I needed something that would cover for me to go to a gynae, contraceptives and all of that. So that's why I ended up not going for the insurance. I ended up going for medical aid.
How did you know the difference before you
I was about to say,
I'm
Sam,
like, girl.
Do you want to help our Savvy squad out and
of
let them
course.
know what the difference is between, maybe from your understanding,
Yeah.
what's the difference between a medical aid and a medical insurance for you?
So medical insurance, it's more like you're saying, I'm covering these specific things only. And it's more of like a gap cover. It's not really an aid. Whereas medical aid, they give you like a wider variety of things that you get covered for, as well as in case of emergency kind of coverage. So the medical aid I'm on, I have a fund that I can use day to day whenever I need, which is what I use mostly for my contraceptives. And then I also get free coverage for like doctors, for dentists, eyes, clearly I'm blind, you know, so like things like that need that kind of coverage. So I needed to decide which kind of coverage I'm looking for. Medical insurance doesn't cover your day-to-day stuff like glasses, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Who taught you the difference?
Well, it was a little bit of my own research, but also my mom.
Her mom is in HR.
My mom, like, yes, everything, the whole family, your CVs go through her, your contracts go through her, you know. So,
I wish I had received that kind of guidance.
It's been helpful. Even my friends, like, she's so useful for that. But yeah, so she also like advised me, obviously, like, maybe not the insurance, considering what you're looking for medical aid for.
Yes.
You know, because there's so many kinds of medical aid, you get so confused. Initially, there was a brand I wanted to go with, but it wasn't covering what I needed it to cover, but it was also, it was cheap. It was like very cheap. And you know, when you're thinking like, ish, I'm in my hustle era, I don't want to be spending unnecessary money. So
yes.
Yeah, so it was stuff like that that you have to consider. Fortunately, I will say I'm speaking from a bit of a privileged perspective, because my mom does help me pay for it, because it is a bit steep. Not every month. When I make enough money on my own, then she'll be like, cover yourself, you know. But every now and then she'll like chip in and help me. So yeah, it's a bit expensive.
We love Mama Gontse.
We love her. We love her so much. Tell me something. When you were deciding, so your employer gave you this insurance, did you have the option to opt out, or was it you take it and leave it?
Part of your employment contract kind of thing?
No, fortunately, it's not part of your employment, but you have to take it at the point that it's being offered. So there's like a 3-month waiting period before they offer you all the more serious stuff.
Benefits,
the benefits and such. So you can choose to opt out of it if you don't want it.
Tell us about your new job, because you are an international hun.
Yes.
You're working for an international company.
In my hustle era. I'm working wherever I can.
She's a digital nomad.
Yes.
Which is the reality of many graduates, considering the unemployment crisis in South Africa, right?
It is it's not easy to get into that. It's been a very long time. I'm still applying for better work, because this is just a part-time position.
Okay.
Right.
But I do administrative tasks for an American company, sell protein bars and all of that fun stuff. So they hire through an HR company that's also in America. That's how I got the job.
Okay.
And then they do offer compensation for your medical aid if you're in South Africa, but it's only like $20, which is like...
Sam, you're the finance person. Do the conversion for me quick. What's $20?
20 times 19 is 380 rand.
Oh no, that's not nearly enough.
Yeah, so, and that's almost 10% of what I pay. Not full 10%.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, it doesn't, I mean, it would help. You apply, you take the money, that 300, buy yourself McDonald's or something, you know, but yeah, it is what it is.
So would you say, given the way the world is going, the way the world of working is changing, that, you know, our South African, bringing it back home, our South African companies could help digital nomads and remote workers as yourself, help sort of, you know, come up with a plan that's more helpful to your needs?
Yes, definitely. So much that can be done, because I think with a lot of people working remotely and online, a lot of different kinds of, even small things like your getting credit, your paycheck isn't the same as a South African paycheck. I get paid bi-weekly, not monthly, like normal people.
Wow.
So that could look unstable. Like, why are you getting
small
every
pieces?
bit by bit, you know, stuff like that. So there's a lot that companies can do to now shift with the digital era that we're going into.
Yeah.
Even medical aid, like, you know, they usually offer it through South African companies. Like, imagine if a proper big South African company would work with a HR company in the States or wherever.
An international provider.
Yes, exactly. So they could, you know, do something, come up with something, save us our coins. You know, I'm still in the very beginning era of like my working career life. So it's like when you start to realize like, people have been paying this much for this long. Like, how are you guys making it? But we're in a different era. So
just listening to your wisdom, just listening to the fact that you had the tenacity to say, okay, my studies didn't go according to plan. I'm willing to start all over again. And you graduated, you've got a degree, you took the jobs that are available, you're working your way up. For me, it speaks to, number one, your character. Number two, the fact that I think you're going to do very, very well in your working career.
I hope so.
I have no doubt about it.
I absolutely agree with you, Sam. Now, given your current cover, you'd say that's more comprehensive, right? You mentioned a list of needs, and I think a lot of people who are recent graduates, their natural instinct is to be like, I don't need medical aid, I want to save my coin.
Yeah.
We're here for a good
I don't
time,
have
not a
time.
long time. YOLO.
Exactly. Do you find that, between your friends, I know your mom would never allow you as an HR rep to not have cover. Do you find that among your peers that medical aid is taken as a blasé, I'll do it later?
Yeah.
Some of them, yes. Some of my friends are same level of thinking.
Love that.
But it's also, we need to recognize that sometimes medical aid is a bit of a privilege, being able to spare that much money on that. You'd rather risk going to a public hospital because you don't always need it every month. Like, compared to how much for me right now, my medical aid is covering my birth control. So I'm not going to the doctor. I'm a very healthy person. I eat right. I work out. I'm on that track.
You're that girl.
Yeah, I'm very much on my everything. So for me, my medical aid just covers that mainly for me, unless I decide I want to go do whatever at the doctor. So that cost compared to how much my actual birth control is, I could save some coins if I wasn't paying medical aid.
But as I always say, insurance is the best spending you can make, or your insurance premium when you need it. It's like you regret not wearing a seatbelt only if you've got an accident.
Yeah, so having it is a bit better. I was getting to that now, because I have it, I have the luxury of, hey, if the money for birth control isn't there, I can still cover. So it has its perks.
Or when you need to get hospitalized.
Yes, if I'm in a situation where, God forbid, something happens,
Yes.
So yes, it has its benefits, and it's just a safety net kind of thing that I feel like if you can afford it, take it out. It's like saving your 10%, You have to, if you can spare that money, do it.
Yes.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Thinking back to a time where I was recently graduate as well. And
Chaz, recently. Girl, please.
I'm young.
Babes.
I'm a millennial, okay?
As am I.
You're still within.
As am I.
Recent graduates.
Yes.
Khonti knows. Khonti knows the truth.
You're still
As
there.
a recent graduate myself, I remember a time where I felt very ill and I never knew that I had a certain condition. And I had to go to hospital, and I thought to myself, I'm speaking to your point of you don't know you need it until you need it. And it was during COVID, 2020, I had gone off a call and I felt this super sharp pain in my abdomen, and I realized this is not a regular pain that I'm used to. And I ended up being admitted during COVID for kidney stones. And I thought to myself, had I just not had this cover,
Where would I be?
Where would I be? Because Bara is very, very, very far from me. So I think people take it for granted, especially those who want to drive Mercedes-Benz first.
Well, your priorities, get your priorities straight first.
Before getting covered. So what are, for you, the common misconceptions among your peers about medical aid, do you think?
I think they just think it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
And it, like, in a very genuine way. You don't think that, I'm going to walk out the house and get in an accident today. You don't think that I'm suddenly going to fall ill with something. You as people, were more likely to be more optimist, sometimes naive or ignorant, but we try to be like, no, I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm whatever, forgetting that life sometimes has other plans for you, So I think it's mostly that, just thinking, it's an unnecessary expense. But when you're in a situation where you actually need it, you understand, like, oh my goodness, actually, medical aid is worth the cost that it takes.
Keep advocating, girl. Tell your friends.
I always tell people.
Your mom must be so proud. And
I hope so.
You mentioned that people always say, Gontse, you should start a podcast.
Yes.
And I really feel you've got a lot of knowledge that people would be able to use either through your own podcast series, social media. Are you
Well, I am on social media, but I don't do a lot of talking. I'm not a very...
Why not?
I don't know why. I get tired of my own voice. I think that's the problem.
What a lovely
Anything that you watch of me, I'm like, there's bits of me talking. If I edit it, I just cut out anything. I don't even hear what I'm... I'm just like, cut it.
No,
you
you're
can see
amazing.
yourself through our eyes.
Yes.
Maybe that's the problem.
What is your 5-year plan in terms of your career? Like, what are your big, hairy, audacious goals?
I want to build another business.
Okay.
Okay, so my current business, it's in transcription. I offer transcription to podcasts, shameless plug, and to market research companies. So we just work on projects like that. I want to go more in the business world. I'm not built for the 9-to-5 life. I've tried it, you know, maybe because it was retail, it was a bit more like excessive, but I just want to go more. I have a few ideas that I'm hoping, at least by the end of the year, I can start on one. But yes, for now, it's just the business and freelancing until I get my things together. In 5 years, I better have moved out, have a car or something. You know, have just started. I feel like as long as I'm doing something I'm passionate about, that's the thing that for me, it's like, I'm trying to get my career in that way. As much as, yes, climb the corporate ladder, choose the safe way. I'm still young. I can make a lot of mistakes, you know. I'm still there. I'm still getting my degree, you know.
You're exploring.
I feel like I'm doing the best of both worlds, where I'm still educated and I'm prioritizing that area of my life, but I'm also like, I want to be free a little. I want to try out whatever I want to try right now. Still have the luxury of living at home. So yeah, for now it's just about finding what really sparks me. Yeah.
I love that you discovered that early as well. I just want to go a little bit back. Outside of medical aid, when you were signing on, you know, employee benefits, let's pretend your mom wasn't an HR professional and she wasn't in the scheme of things. Do you find that either in varsity as a graduate, your career services officers, do they share these things with you about, you know, when you get your first contract?
This is how you calculate your net salary.
Yes.
This is how much you should be contributing to pension. This is what the medical aid deduction will be, etc., etc.
Yeah. So either in your career services as a graduate or even as HR where you worked, did they sit down and explain that to you? Is there enough information?
Yeah, unfortunately for me, I never had any guidance, whether it was from school or like work or anything. I never found, I mean, people always say that education is a bit useless because you don't even learn how to do your taxes sometimes. Like just small things that we need as human beings.
Yes,
you know?
day-to-day
Education's
skills.
not useless. Stay in school, guys. Okay. But just learning how to do the basic necessities of how you, I mean, the fact that to get an apartment, people didn't know that you have to pay double rent
plus
you know,
deposit,
small
plus
things like that. You're
levy,
thinking,
plus...
oh, it's just 6K, and you must prepare all these things. So no educational institution, both of them that I've been to, taught me or helped me. Maybe if I like reached out or something, I would have gotten help.
On that note, if you were to turn back the hands of time and you could go back to varsity and give yourself like kind of 5 key tips, you know, these are the things I wish I could have known before entering the working world, what would those 5 be? Short and sharp.
For entering the working world, save. Oh gosh, save. I think had I started saving earlier, I would have a lot more money right now. You know, you think you have all this money, but yes, save. Even if it's literally as small as 200 Rand, trust me, it'll make a difference. Look for a job that you will enjoy. As much as I hated retail, I loved my job as a bookseller because I love books. I'm a big, big reader. So it was that balance of find something that's somewhere in between. There will always be compromise with work, but find something in between. Make friends. Don't be shy. Like, just go out. I'm someone who would sit alone all the time, and now I'm just like, girl, you don't have friends now.
You alone
How do
now.
you think I'm really alone? You know, because my friends are in other countries now. So it's like...
And working remote actually is a huge cause of loneliness, which, you know, we're very big on mental health and mental wellness.
So
and
socialize a little. That would help, although, you know, you can find a way. I'm a bit of an introvert, so I think that's why. I don't know, work hard, show discipline, even if it's like a small job. Like mine was retail, but I still worked, you know, I still showed up, I still did the best. Even to this day, when I go back to, I was literally there like a few days ago because I was buying more books. And they were literally, you can tell that I had an impact in the place because of the knowledge I was able to offer, not in a like egotistical way, but in a genuine way. So put forth your best, always put your...
No matter where you start.
Exactly, because I mean, now I'm able to still, you know, slide through the door a little, get whatever I need, you know, so it's very nice to know that I showed up as my best self and I'm still reaping the rewards for that. Yes, sky's the limit. Apply to any job. Don't be limited to the salary or the, the qualification.
Location,
anything like that. And don't be afraid to ask for help. especially. I think that's a big one.
Oh, I love that, Gontse. Thank you so much for showing up with your very vibrant personality. Please do continue to follow your dreams. Our savvy graduates, please, I hope you heard that. I hope you learned and understood the differences between medical aid and medical insurance.
And after this, we will be getting into my savvy solutions for graduates and everything you need to know to make sure that you have the adequate cover for your needs. Listen, Gontse is a graduate who is all about her business. And if you missed out on what she said, then you will want to catch a replay of this episode and listen out to these savvy solutions that we took from her. Number one, do your research. Don't just accept what your employer has offered you, but do your research to understand what is in the market and understand what the difference is between the options that are available. Number two, get covered sooner rather than later. You want to make sure that you have your medical aid in place before you need to go to the hospital or get your day-to-day care, like your contraceptives or your glasses. Number three, understand the benefits. Medical aid has so many benefits that are different to the benefits that are available on medical insurance. And when you are considering which medical aid to choose, consider your affordability. There are many entry-level medical aid options that actually are not as expensive as we may think. Number four, make sure that you're choosing a medical aid that helps you to manage your savings with a flexible savings facility. An example is the PPS wallet that ProfMed offers for those unexpected co-payments when you're hospitalized, etc. But with ProfMed, there are actually no co-payments on hospitalization.
Which is revolutionary.
So if you're going to choose a medical aid, make sure that you look out for such exclusions, you know, whether the co-payment is covered or not. And then number five, ProfMed offers preventative care. We mentioned with Gontse how she is on contraception. Y'all know that I was not on contraception in uni. That's how I had my baby. Things I wish I knew, okay? So make sure you've got medical aid that covers that and that is available on which option you choose.
Thanks so much, Samke. And you know, savvy graduates, I hope you heard that. Make sure you are adequately covered. Thanks to our guest Gontse for joining us today on Medical Aid 101 for graduates. And thank you, Savvy Squad, for tuning in.
As always, before we go, make sure that you get yourself up to speed about what medical aid benefits are available on ProfMed, which is a medical aid specifically for professionals and a medical aid that understands graduates' needs. Visit www.profmed.co.za for more.